2, 3.
Welcome to the Ford Fiesta, everybody, where Adam Witt, Paul Preston, us of the movie guys are unreasonably in love with Harrison Ford. So if we're not coming on, if we're not coming on here and telling you about it, believe me, we're somewhere talking about it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yes. We've, in the time since we've done our last live show, we went to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark together.
I didn't even pull a photo of that. We've done too much because he's done so much.
He's done so much.
And whether it's something new he's done or just a massive career that keeps revealing itself in front of everywhere we go, like at the New Beverly Cinema, where they show Raiders of the Lost Ark every year. It's a lot.
And they're showing Temple of Doom this month as well. Excuse me, I have a cat that wants to come in. Get in here.
You have a cat? Oh, we have a listener. Good. When we go away for 3 months or whatever, and then we do an 11 a.m. show as opposed to our normal 3. You never know if we have a listener, but we do have a cat. That's good.
We do have a cat. Get in here, buddy. Your audience wants to see you. Anyway.
Hey, someone followed us to the new time slot. Not that this is a regular new time slot, but even just trying to squeeze this show in, I have something at 3 o'clock today, so PST, so we couldn't do it. And then Adam will travel maybe next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm out next week, and we've just had trouble. But the torturous thing is because it's been maybe 2 months since we've done a live show. I think
maybe even more. Yeah,
it might be more.
Yeah.
We just have had stuff come up and things to do, but the torturous thing is the entire life has been happening. I think the best thing to say here is that we started this show at the tail end of the pandemic, it was like, what are we going to do? Well, we just talked about Harrison Ford anyway. Let's record a podcast. And then we were like, it's so entertaining to do the podcast. Let's do a live show where we record the podcast. And then we are still behind on the podcast editing those, but we were like, but there's Harrison Ford news to talk about. So let's just do a live show that is not the recording of the thing just to talk about new developments in Harrison Ford, whether it be the video game or shrinking or whatever. And then because life, we took a couple months off here, and he's receiving awards. He's just showing up in appearances. He's on Sesame Street, and Paul and I are furiously texting like, this guy, right? This guy, he's returned to Glen Morangi. It's like, he's the greatest. And he has become such a statesman. Like comparative to now, Paul, when we started the Ford Fiesta, the podcast, before even the live stream idea, it almost feels like Harrison Ford was becoming an obscure relic comparative to now. People aren't talking much about Harrison. When we very first started this, we're like, people aren't talking much about Harrison Ford anymore. Let's change that. Let's get the conversation back on Harrison Ford. Let's do a show. Let's cover his entire filmography. And, if he does something newsworthy, we'll cover that too. And the entire time since we've been doing the show he has become more famous. He's become as famous and as known and as ubiquitous as he was at Return of the Jedi, or it's like he is everywhere, and for a whole new generation of kids too. It's like, this is their John Wayne. I've always said, he's, to a certain generation, he's going to be how John Wayne was to us. That was somebody my parents, But imagine if John Wayne became super relevant in 1985. Oh my God, he's everywhere, and kids love him, and he's on Sesame Street. Anyway, So you have assembled a lot of updates. Can you imagine? Oh yeah.
Oscar, why such a grouch, Pilgrim?
I'm here to tell you kids about the positive effects of the Vietnam War.
Oh, and it wouldn't be the same without wise assery. Has it been 18 months? Must be time for a new Ford Fiesta. Why, you son of a... All right, well, let's get to it then. Let's not mess around.
Yeah, let's talk some Harrison Ford. So much has been going on.
All right. So, should we hit directly to Harrison Ford news or Harrison Ford adjacent news first? What shall we do? Um,
Uh, uh, uh,
let's hit right to Harrison Ford because I have to
yeah.
share my story. First of all, I'm kind of sad that they're going to, and you got to be sad about this too, Adam, because it was your neighborhood, that they're going to move the Academy Awards in 2029 to the Peacock Theater down at LA Live. So the whole idea of building the Hollywood and Highland complex, which is now known as Ovation Hollywood, with the
Yeah.
Dolby Theater and the shopping, dining, and entertainment there, and now there's what, a Dave and Buster's, a Lucky Strike, a comedy club, shopping, food, restaurants.
And
It'll
much
all
of my social life, that is my neighborhood mall.
right, yeah,
I
and
go over
your
there and
neighborhood.
grab a burger or watch the Dodgers game up at Dave and Buster's, or
And you
uh,
always say your neighborhood theater is Grauman's Chinese Theater, which is no slouch of a regular place to go.
the closest I've ever lived to a movie theater, and the closest theater to me right now, currently.
The
Yes,
most famous one, perhaps, in the country.
in the
So,
country.
so the Dolby Theater was supposed to house the Oscars, according to the columns that post each Best Picture winner as they happen, that go up and down the hallway leading into the theater. Looked like it was going to go till 2070. Well, it's going to end in 3 years. And move
Jeez,
downtown. They'll probably still put the best pictures there, but in the meantime, they're going to want to have more events at the Dolby Theater. What do you say?
no. But didn't they build it for the Oscars, right?
They said, look, we want the Oscars in Hollywood. Oscars is about Hollywood. Hollywood is about the Oscars. And now that they're going to move it because probably cheaper. And they're going to start streaming it on YouTube instead of broadcasting it on ABC. So a lot of changes underfoot. But the location's going to be rough because this is such a big, beautiful theater.
Oh,
And, what are they going to do with it? Well, they've done something with it every year since it's been around that I can remember. And that is Paley Fest. Now you may remember
ah.
Bill Paley, right?
Oh,
Ed
this
Paley?
is right. This is great. This would have what you're about to say. The story you're about to tell would have been an entire episode if we hadn't taken so much time off with so much news. Yeah, the
Right.
Paley Fest. Now, update me on what the Paley Fest is, because I've heard that name for a long time, and I know you have some news about it. But
Well, the internet will know if it's Bill Paley or Ed Paley. I can't remember the guy's name, but he pretty much
Fucking internet.
William Paley. Thank you. Yes, I thought so. Bill Paley. I remember they refer to him all the time in Good Night and Good Luck. I thought it was Bill, and I'm correct. Frank Langella, I believe, in that movie. This was there's a fest in his name that's all about TV because he was a TV guy. So Dolby Theater is your place for movies with the Oscars, but when they leave, hopefully TV sticks around in the form of the Paley Fest, because even the Emmys this year, I believe, were at the Peacock. So I don't know if they're going to hog everything, but Paley Fest celebrates TV with fan fests, basically, which are large, gatherings of the entire cast of a TV show for fans to come out and watch, and sometimes they unveil new things, etc. So they had one for shrinking, and Harrison Ford was not scheduled. And then the week of the event, he was added to the schedule. So I was very excited, as you can imagine.
oh my gosh,
A lot of people showed up. There it is, the huge ass Dolby Theater.
I've never been inside that theater. That's my neighborhood. I've never been in there.
They do other things like movies and concert. They showed Batman here with live orchestra. They brought Broadway shows through. I saw Tootsie the musical here. So they use it. But I mean, that 2 weeks of the year was its bread and butter,
Yeah.
But if Paley
So this is where the Oscars takes place, right? This theater
correct.
right here.
Yeah. So if Paley Fest continues, I mean, I'm sure it will, and I hope it continues here. The place will get ample use. They had panels for Pluribus. They had panels for your friends and neighbors. A lot of Apple TV, because it is the best streamer out there with the best shows, in my opinion. And the shrinking one was great, and everybody came out. So there they are. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, Jessica Williams, what's her name from Scrubs?
famous person.
Jenny, Michael Urie, the girl who plays his Segel's daughter, and then MVP of the show, Ted McGinley on the end. Why can't I remember her name from Scrubs?
There was a very good clip from Ted McGinley I remember from this as well that ended up on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, in a panel this big, everyone gets like their one or two moments to stand out with a little speech or answering a question. But nevertheless, just sharing space with Harrison Ford, as you can imagine, is quite exciting. Here he makes a vintage Ford or Paul Rhodes face, incredulous on the show and in real life with whatever people were talking about around him. But the big deal was at the end. This is moderated by Bill Lawrence. He's far left there. He is your, showrunner of the moment, with not just Shrinking, but also Rooster.
How is he so
Ted
talented,
Lasso.
by the way?
Yeah, I know. Cougar Town back in the day goes all the way back to Spin City. But new Ted Lasso season coming out, and let's see other show.
Crazy.
And the Scrubs reboot. So yeah, he's the guy right now, and so it was a good idea for Ford to get involved with him. And as you probably heard him say, and he reiterated it here, it's the show he's proudest to talk about. Because people will come up on the street and want to talk about Parkinson's or want to talk about therapy or want to talk about something that's meaningful, and they have a real conversation. And then he's like, and then they leave, instead of just like, hey, photo, Mr. Ford, thanks, bye.
Right.
It's a real, like, it means something to people, and that's been important to him. And I get it, because when you watch that show, they delicately balance comedy and drama quite well.
Well, this is the thing. This Bill Lawrence. Bill Simmons. Bill Lawrence. I mean, he just it's so effortless on these shows. How that does Ted Lasso. It's so effortless how it goes from the comedy to the drama. Yeah. It's like something that feels missing. Although I say that as someone who doesn't watch a whole lot of TV, I'm sure there's other shows that are really balancing that. But anyway, the ones I'm exposed to, this and Ted Lasso, it's very impressive.
Yeah. And, talk about pulling heartstrings at the end, surprise guest appearance, Michael J. Fox shows up.
Oh, my God.
Who, of course, also showed up in season 3 of Shrinking. So they all talked about the show and everything. That place went berserk on their feet, screaming and yelling. And then you get to witness a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's Indiana Jones hugging Marty McFly.
Oh, my gosh.
So that was just the best.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were there. You witnessed that. You were in the same room as Harrison Ford.
Just came to me, and if I didn't say
what was the name?
Again. Krista Miller. Krista Miller was your, and she's very funny on the show, on Shrinking. Everybody's funny on the show. And that's something a friend of mine has a problem with. He's like, I don't know, everybody's funny. I'm like, that's great, right? I don't know if he wanted more variety in the people, but I think it kind of looks like just a bunch of people. I want to hang out with people where everybody's funny.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, well, but see, that's the funny thing. It does the classic sitcom thing. What's great about the best sitcoms is you put 9 people in a room, and if their points of view are distinct enough, one thing happens and everybody weighs in, right? It's our favorite. Cheers. One thing happens, everybody weighs in. And all the points of view are so different that, it builds on each other. And Shrinking, I'm like, it's doing the classic sitcom thing. It might as well have a laugh track and, something happens and then Jack weighs in, Chrissy weighs in, Mr. Furley weighs in. It's, and they all just have their particular, thing that they do and say.
It was an outstanding night, I had done a 1-hour career retrospective with Ford before at the SAG office.
You've been in the room with him before.
Yeah, because that was like, then Comic-Con, I find ways to share the room with Harrison Ford. But, that was a little more in-depth, but any time is a good time to do that. So it was the A+ night. Look for Paley Fest next year. Your favorite shows will be represented, and it's just a great way to... Oh, and they also showed the season finale a day before it aired on Apple TV+. So
you watched it with the crowd on the screen there?
And that one especially, so emotional, so excellent. Ford's great in the finale of that. He's really, really good. I mean, every year I say he could get an Emmy, and he's been nominated for this show. And if you thought the end of last season was poignant with the big monologue he gives, I mean, they deliver another great scene for his character again, because I think they thought the show was going to end. The show could be over now, but it's so popular they're going to do a 4th season, and I'm just hoping it's a Toy Story 4 where it's like it could be over, but there's more to say, and hopefully they do it well.
Yeah. Well, we're in such a luxury era of media where you can do that 3 seasons and out sort of British thing, right? Like the Great Britain, The Office, you're like, no, 2 seasons. You're like, are you kidding me? Only 2 seasons of this. And I love that with the luxury TV, with Apple, you can do that. But back in the day, most shows really didn't get going until season 3. Like, the season 3 of Seinfeld and season 4 of Seinfeld, that's really getting going. You imagine if The Simpsons stopped at 3 seasons?
That's the next one I was going to mention. Yeah, The Simpsons really got rolling.
So, and the characters became so well carved in the second season and third season. I just talked to someone recently who was like, yeah, I started the show or whatever. And he goes, boy, people are really obsessed with it. And I go, that's because they've watched all 3 seasons. And those characters get so carved into, again, that sitcom thing of put all of them in a room, something happens, everybody reacts. They all get so much more carved in their personalities.
And you have the joy of kind of knowing how they're going to react. So you can't wait for the character to show up because they're going to blow their top or be sexy or whatever it is they're going to do. And, and that happened with the paper. I'm excited for season 2 because that's the spin on The Office. About
the paper company, basically.
Within the
Not
first
the chair
season,
company, which is genius, but the paper.
Oh, I do want to see that. But there's like, you meet all the characters and you're enjoying them, but by the end of the season, you're like, oh, now I get what they each are, and I'm waiting for what their reaction is going to be.
Right.
So, yeah, I recommend Shrinking because it gets better each season, and that doesn't happen often. Like I remember when Heroes came out, if you remember that TV show, and it looked great, but I just never got to it. And then I wanted to get to it in season 2, and everyone said, well, it shit the bed. I'm like, well, I'm glad I never got in, and I don't have to like be disappointed. I'll just be done. So. Yeah, which is a shame. But that's my opening Harrison Ford story. We'll cut over to you, Adam. But first, a question. How many times have you moved since the last time we did a show? Do you move a lot? I don't know.
I used to, I think. I mean, I think he's saying because this camera used to be in the other room facing one way, and then it was in the room facing the other way, and now it's in this room facing this way. But
wait, in the interest of too much information, are you in your bedroom?
Well, what used to be the bedroom. This is now my office, yeah.
Oh, so wait, where's the Millennium Falcon hub?
Out there.
Okay, so you're not in that room. All right.
No, I'm not. And the irony is that is still the best place to put up my Millennium Falcon wallpaper. I'm sure I've told this stream before that I bought Millennium Falcon wallpaper specifically for this alcove that looks like a cockpit, which is where my desk used to sit. But you wouldn't have been able to see it because my camera used to face the other way. So I moved to the other side of the room with plans to put the Millennium Falcon wallpaper there. And then anyway, lo and behold, here I am. And I mean, I guess the Millennium Falcon wallpaper could go on this back wall too. But, might as well give it a shot, right? I mean, it's just sitting there.
I appreciate your analog take on it. Most people would just do the green screen.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just like it as a decoration too. I mean, look, I'm a giant.
You want it for dinner, yeah.
I'm a giant child, and I just want to live in a Millennium Falcon. It's like
look at us, right?
I mean, if there were no such thing as live stream, I mean, I would just do it to have. The Millennium Falcon so anyway, I still have that wallpaper. I have not moved, but I just keep redecorating, and I think that's what he means.
Well, hit us with whatever I got a bunch of crap, but you can go now if you got something.
Let's see. Well, you have a lot of crap, but I did want to say something that you reminded me of there, which was that so yes, I love my neighborhood here and the Dolby, and I could have loaded it up here, but I came very unprepared somehow for having 3 months to prepare the show. But living on Hollywood Boulevard here, Harrison Ford was at Jimmy Kimmel. And so the only photos I have, I was waiting in the alley behind Jimmy Kimmel for Harrison Ford to make an appearance, which you cannot see him. They have these gates that they put up so that the star. But the thing that was annoying is I stood there. So anyway, I walked over because Harrison Ford was going to be in my neighborhood, and I waited with all the fun kooks that are there with all their, today they're gonna get that Star Wars poster signed. They are gonna get that Blade Runner 2049 poster signed. And there's and they're all there and they're all waiting in the alley. And so I'm just talking to people and stuff, and I'm like, I walked a block, I'm like, it's like they have made a trip there, people. They are going to get their Han Solo and Stormtrooper outfit action figures signed today, and they're all there's the 5-minute warning. All right, guys. All right. It's on the way. Everybody. And there's like one group leader. He goes, all right, everybody check your Sharpies. Everybody pulls out their Sharpies and starts making sure they all work. Okay, this one's good. This one's good. This one's good. The guy tapes the Blade Runner 2049 to a piece of cardboard so he can put it out there real quick. You don't want to unfurl, you want to have something for him to sign on. I mean, these guys are pros. They obviously have gotten lots of signatures this way. It's probably a lot to ask.
Professional what? I have no idea. Right.
Professional fans. I mean, it's something you only find in Hollywood, which I always find that interesting. Like, I always used to come across the paparazzi a lot, especially when I lived in West Hollywood. And there's no paparazzi here on Hollywood Boulevard because there's no famous people on Hollywood Boulevard. It's all people in costumes and just tourists.
Events, yeah.
But in West Hollywood, you'd just be walking to the grocery store or whatever, and you'd see in front of some shop like 5 guys with cameras, and I would always be like, "Oh, who's in there?" And he's like, "Joey Fatone." And like they're all just like at work. But I went to the alley here, and I was kind of excited because I'm like, I go, "There's no way he's signing a single thing," and knowing the people that were there all brought ladders, also, Paul. Because what they do is they have a giant piece of fence that is open, so you can see all the way down the alley, and there's all the security standing in the back of Jimmy Kimmel.
It's a chain link, so you can see through it.
Chain link fence with tarp on it, and so that's there, so that when Harrison Ford comes, it's swung in between us and the door to Jimmy Kimmel. And that's why, because when I walked up, there were all these step ladders. And I was talking to one guy, too, who also never came to anything like this. He's like, yeah, I was in the area. I knew he was going to be on the show. He's like, I never come and hung out at anything like this before. But he goes, but I've done it a few times. And he goes, the step ladders are for when they swing the fence, so everybody can run to the top of the fence and drop their poster over it. I mean, they were all prepared. It was amazing. And sure enough, it was like, and I was waiting, and I thought I had the best vantage point, that there was a gap in the fence where they park, behind that big parking lot there between the high school and the Jimmy Kimmel's back. And I was like, you guys are not going to see Harrison Ford. In fact, they're going to put that fence up, and Harrison Ford's going to be completely hidden, except through this gap, because he's going to have to get out of his car. Well, lo and behold, I got distracted, and it was taking a long time, and I was like, and I kind of turned away, and just instantly, Mr. Ford, and quiet. Like, he was just like, and I was like, all I had to do is pay attention to where the cars were coming, and I probably would have seen Harrison Ford, but I was several feet from Harrison Ford, theoretically and supposedly. He was on the show that night. I can prove he did enter the building, but I did not see him.
I tried to get tickets to that, but I mean, I tried way too late. Like, same week was not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, that was a particularly high as hell appearance, I think.
Was it?
That was a goofy appearance,
Too high for this shit.
They've made a compilation videos now out there on YouTube, which are going viral about Harrison Ford gives no fucks or whatever, and it'll just be compilations of all the times he was really funny and or weird and or just bizarre on talk shows, yelling at Chewie or yelling at Conan's intern or just telling bizarre stories or jokes, or whatever. And they're all charming, and it's all in love with love, and it's taken off again. To your point, he's in the conversation.
Well, and it's always been in my notes for segments for this show, for like the live version of the show here, and we've covered like when he's on Kim or whatever, we'll play a clip of that or whatever. But God, you go down the YouTube hole and you're like, we could spend 6 shows on just talk show appearances because we just saw David Letterman. I don't know if you're going to mention this. We just saw at Netflix's Joke Fest. Now, as much as we love Harrison Ford, and our second and third favorite people on earth are way down, way below Harrison Ford, but at the top of the list of people who aren't Harrison Ford for Paul and I is David Letterman. And so we got to see David Letterman interview Martin Short, who's also on that list somewhere, not Harrison Ford, but way below, but that second slot, which is way below the first. It's like you always say, Paul,
go ahead.
What's your favorite movie besides Star Wars?
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you were going to say, we're not doing the short shindig here, but we could, but we're doing the Ford Fiesta.
The short shindig. But anyway, so but and I was looking up David Letterman clips, and of course my algorithms in YouTube, David Letterman, Harrison Ford came together, and I was like, oh, that's right, of course Harrison Ford was on David Letterman all the time, and I was watching David Letterman clips. So anyway, we're gonna have to do just an all talk show, version of the Ford Fiesta at some point.
Got another question here. How do you think they'll pull Harrison's character back to the West Coast?
Yeah.
Spoiler, but they don't include the line. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Pull me back in. That would be fun. Yeah, boy, characters spread to four corners of the globe there, so they got a lot cut out for them in terms of. I imagine an event would obviously have to happen with somebody. Did they get? I forget. Did Jessica Williams and Damon Wayans Jr., their characters marry? They got engaged, so their wedding could pull a bunch of people back.
That's true. Destination Wedding. Oh, season 4, Destination Wedding.
Well, that's the balls on Shrinking. It was the first or second episode of this season. Paul Rhodes, Ford's character, got married. Like they led with the wedding. Like that's
right.
Like,
the totally what you'd think would be the season finale, and then just boom, got out of the. Yeah, they did get their season finale out of the way early this season.
Yeah, right. All right, more nonsense. Let's put bad news.
You want the fucking potatoes or not?
Ford adjacent news: Marsha Lucas has passed away.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
And of course, there are tons of stories about how she is the heart and soul of the stories of Star Wars when she edited alongside, won an Oscar for Star Wars for editing alongside.
And I forget her other movies. Yeah.
But
I always forget Taxi Driver.
Yeah. Tying it to Ford, though, he said, I owe my smirk to her.
Aww.
Because she would fight for those moments where, when the little robot thing's going down, whatever it is on the Death Star.
The mouse droid?
Yeah, mouse droid. Thank you. Of course. Hashtag Schmodown. And then Chewie yells.
I don't remember the exact number or names of them. You have to go to the Daemons for that.
Right. And then Chewie yells at it and it goes, and it runs away. Like those are the kind of things she fought for to bring a little heart and humor to the story. And that's
because George is famously kind of a cold technocrat.
Yeah. But that's our wait, let me remove this for a second and I'll show you that. So that's our logo is one of his famous smirks from Return of the Jedi. So yeah.
The other story that came out was from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'd never heard this one. That the reason the ending scene with Marion and Indy, and the reason it was shot in San Francisco, one of the few, as Paul would know, go ahead and put up the pitch for the movie location tour. But one of the few Raiders of the Lost Ark locations you can find in the United States is in San Francisco. And the reason is that was a reshoot because Marion dropped off they left her tied to a pole in I think Marsha Lucas's words. You left her tied to a pole. You don't see her after that moment. They probably just went to him talking to the bureaucrats, or maybe even not. Maybe it just goes to the original cut. Maybe just went to the Ark, being put away, and that was the end of the movie.
A drink.
Yeah, right.
That moment, you gotta wind up that storyline, and I think it's City Hall in San Francisco, the big staircase there. Yeah, one of the. Otherwise, you gotta.
You've been there.
Yeah, otherwise you got to go to Tunisia or Kauai or wherever.
Yeah, right.
For a lot of the locations. However, update in like a little over a week, I'll be up in Stockton, California. A college there is the exterior shot of Indy's college from Raiders, even though the interiors were shot in England. Yeah. So I'm going to find that building and get a shot of that and share it here on the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Movie locations are now my jam. So
I'm I know. It's
but a bunch of guys ran that movie and Marsha Lucas had to go, guys, Kasdan, Kaufman, Lucas, Spielberg, guys, there's a girl in this story, so yeah, you had to remind everybody.
And I think because they were all friends that she came into the fold through De Palma because she had worked on Do I have that correct? Because they were all very close friends. But I think she came into the fold, like he met her through De Palma or whatever. But talk about your famously like irascible guy. Like, you know, she had to work with him and Scorsese and, you know, like, so yeah, she definitely knew how to handle guys, handle the dude party.
Yeah, when they needed handling. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in that vein, also earlier this year, but we never got to talk about it, Drew Struzan also passed.
Oh,
Legendary poster artist for Raiders, for Temple. Not sorry, for
not Raiders.
No, that was what's his name?
Starting with Temple
of Doom,
Amstel,
Back to the Future, Dreamscape, DC Cab. You know, the big ones.
Dreamscape, DC Cab. Oh, that's the amazing thing. He could. Well, the documentary. And we're just going to start quoting the documentary that's on Amazon Prime or whatever, but the number of movies that sucked that had Drew Struzan art that made them look awesome, Masters of the Universe.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, yeah, wow. But boy, he took over. I mean, it's so funny. Star Wars had one poster done by somebody other than him, and then maybe one Empire Strikes Back, and then the rest was, you know, and same thing with Indy. Raiders of the Lost Ark was Richard Amstel, I think. And then after that, it was all Drew Struzan.
And I think didn't he do one of the two looks for Raiders? Like because there's the one where he's got the whip over his shoulder, and I think that's Amstel, and then there's the one where he's swinging the whip, and I think that might be Struzan. We may have two people here working on different things there. But anyway, to further run down his resume, of course, Cannonball Run and Police Academy, as well as Blade Runner. So he really didn't judge, which is good for an artist. You don't want to judge. You take the job.
Yeah, boy, what's the worst movie that he did the best poster for? But man, the DC Cab, yeah, that's got to be one. Here, let's just look at this here. Oh shoot, that's going to open Instagram. But here, and anyway,
let's go to a commercial while you're figuring out how that all works. Where is it here?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you good, or we need a commercial?
No, I got it here.
Wait, let's have a commercial. I got a commercial.
Oh, go ahead and have a commercial.
Tomorrow Impulse George Lucas Super Live Adventure
放送3年ついに完成したルーカスライブ本当に本物のスター・ウォーズがやってくるこれはもう映画どころの騒ぎじゃない
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.
Was that Skeletor at the end?
What? That was, right? Oh no, that was from Willow at the end.
Oh,
that was the bad guy from Willow at the end.
All the Lucas represented. I didn't see anybody from Radioland Murders, but I'm sure they were there.
All right, let's see if I can get the. But this look right here.
That's legend. Yeah.
Oh, that face. My goodness, you know that is.
That's the best too, because he's so put upon in that movie. Like I loved it when I was a kid. I think I told you the journey with this, and then I kind of grew out of it, and I was like, But I've grown back into that. That is the face anyone would make when the nuts are around you, including like the people he brought, Shorty and Kate Capshaw. You know, he's like, God, you guys, like, I'm trying to do stuff here, and then like 500 bad guys come at him. All right,
oh, God. Yeah,
and he's hilarious. It might be the funniest movie.
God, this one has grown in our appreciation. Getting to see, you know, I mean, we make a tradition of seeing Raiders at least once a year in the theater, but we're starting to make a tradition of seeing Temple of Doom once a year in the theater too. And it's like, that's such a rewarding movie. Yeah.
Last time I saw it was at the American Cinematheque at the Egyptian. Yeah, we went that together, probably, didn't we? And then we went to go to the George Lucas bar at Mel's Drive-In. That's what you do.
Oh, yeah. The Cinematheque. And my gosh, they had the 4K DCP print. It was just like, I'd never seen that movie like that before. And we saw Empire Strikes Back in a DCP 4K print. And it's like, have I ever seen this movie before? It's like, it's incredible for those to be like new movies, you know? But yeah, that face in the Temple of Doom, that big face on that poster. Oh, the composition of those Drewsters on compositions. Oh, so good.
Speaking of the last time we went to the George Lucas bar at Mel's Drive-In in Hollywood, it was for this. Let's give this 5 minutes because it is in the Star Wars universe that Harrison Ford.
Yes, I was about to say, speaking of Temple of Doom. Speaking of a movie that is so insane that it could not be appreciated in its time, right? So I guess there's negative reviews. I don't read reviews. I don't give a fuck what people think about The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's a miracle it exists. It's a miracle that, of course I have to say every time, I'm a 10-year-old when I go to this, and if you had told me in 1983 that the next movie is not going to be Return of the Jedi, or no, let's say after Return of the Jedi, that they're going to make the next movie is going to be an all Boba Fett movie. It's going to be Boba Fett and Yoda and Jabba the Hutt, and there's going to be AT-ATs, and there's going to be everything you loved about Jabba's palace. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a bunch of gross,
X-wings.
Yeah, there's going to be Rebels, X-wings. The woman from Aliens is going to be in it. I mean. Yeah. This I'm talking about in 83. This would be coming out in 86, right? Like in 86. When we saw Mandalorian and Grogu, I put myself in the headspace of a 10-year-old Adam, but also realizing that every Star Wars movie is some kid's first Star Wars movie. If you are a 10-year-old right now and you have not seen any other Star Wars, now I don't know how that's possible, probably, but
bad parenting.
If let's say you're an abused child and they have not shown you Star Wars yet, and you go to Mandalorian and Grogu only wanting to see what we wanted at 10 years old, A-Team, and give me that sort of, oh my gosh. Here's a movie where the Boba Fett, I know he's a Mandalorian, but as a Gen Xer, that's a Yoda, that's a Boba Fett, that's a Babu Frick, right?
There's a lot of Boba Fett. Yeah.
A lot of Boba Fett's. That's a bunch of ton of Jabba the Hutts. That you're going to see a Boba, and it fulfills everything you would have wanted a Boba Fett movie. I mean, The Mandalorian in general fulfills everything you'd want a Boba Fett movie to be. But it's a Boba Fett movie.
Got that jetpack finally doing stuff.
Finally jetpack doing stuff. I mean, Look, who wasn't disappointed in finally seeing the jetpack? I mean, he had the jetpack on his back when there was an action figure that was released in 1979, 2 years before Empire Strikes Back. And you played with Boba Fett for 2 years, for a year and a half before The Empire Strikes Back came out. And you had him flying around. But then here comes The Empire Strikes Back, and he's like, hey, and that's it. And then you go, we got to wait 3 more years.
Yeah.
And he finally uses the jetpack, but it's a mistake, and Han Solo hits it, and he dies. You're like, wow, that is a super letdown. And The Mandalorian is so much jetpack action. It fulfills so much. And this movie is Temple of Doom nuts. And you and I didn't realize at the time what we were seeing with Temple of Doom. The movie that Spielberg directed the year after E.T.?
Where they rip a guy's heart out? Yeah.
Where they rip a guy's heart out? And it's just like, it is 180 degrees from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is so unlike Raiders of the Lost Ark that people hated it for that at the time. Hey, it's hard for a young generation to realize, but they hated Temple of Doom. Younger kids, okay, let me just say this to Gen Y. They hated Temple of Doom. Hard to believe, huh? Now let me talk to Generation Alpha or whatever, millennials. They hated The Phantom Menace. Hard to believe, right? They also hated Attack of the Clones. They hated Revenge of the Sith. And from what I gather, these same critics also don't like The Mandalorian and Grogu. Big surprise. They would like to beat you up in gym on Monday. And, but of course, this once divorced of all the online talk, once divorced of a trailer, the next generation that comes into this movie cold is going to go, oh my God. I mean, The Mandalorian kills 30 people in the first 5 minutes. Name a children's movie where the badass, I mean, this is the sort of movie that would have sold out 10 years ago, right? And I cite as an example Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Get that mask off of him. Who am I now? I'm a Sony executive. Great, Spider-Man. Get that off of his face. You know what? That scene you shot with it staying on his face, reshoot it. Get that mask off of his face. The most ballsy thing I've ever seen is that this guy doesn't take the mask off, but for one scene in the movie. I mean, that's because that's
and there were
Boba Fett.
You know, but there were consequences. There were story.
Well, and he got to say some cold ass Clint Eastwood shit. Let's not forget, you know, because they pull his helmet off and they say, now you're just, which is the plot of season 3 or the beginning of it, was he had taken his helmet off. So now he had to, you know, he was impure and he had to bathe in the waters of Mandalore and all that sort of stuff. But they take it off and they make a mere reference to it. Of course, you do not need to see any of The Mandalorian to love this movie. Again, I say, imagine you're like, they're going to make a 4th Star Wars movie. It's coming out in 1986. And it is the Temple of Doom of Star Wars movies. I mean, people would have thrown a shit fit just like they did for Temple of Doom if this came out in 1986. But the kids would have went, oh my God. And of course it would be completely re-embraced now. And it's impossible to convince a millennial that Temple of Doom wasn't liked in its time. But it was hated vehemently by critics. And you and I react the same way we do now with Twitter. Is like, please, give me a break. You know, I love that Twitter also thinks it's the first people ever to hate a Star Wars movie. They're all such special little snowflakes who, for the very first time, they've had the bravery to dislike critically a Star Wars movie. And they all really have that attitude too. And for you and I, old Gen Xers who have kind of been through it all, certainly with Star Wars, we were there at 5, 6, 7 years old or whatever when it came out. And it's all very hilarious, right? Oh, did you deal a lethal blow to Star Wars by not liking it critically? Whatever will Star Wars do now that you have not liked it?
It will crumble under your words.
I mean, Star Wars, it was the original Star Wars was popular, but it wasn't, it was well reviewed by some people. Roger Ebert liked it and stuff like that. But everybody was disappointed in Empire Strikes Back with the downer ending. And everybody was disappointed with the Ewoks, right? I mean, so how many Star Wars movies have been well reviewed? The prequel trilogy definitely wasn't at all. So anyway.
Maybe Rogue One. Maybe that's it.
Maybe Rogue One. Oh, that's right. If you strangle the cat, then people will go, what a hard-hitting expose on violence, you know?
But yeah, Phantom Menace, it hasn't been relevant in years, right? Oh, wait a second. Pretty crazy.
Oh!
The blockade of a trade route is now.
Very smart, very smart. But I'm sorry, I review the critics too much. I hate this. I've always done this, and especially in the internet era, that you review the critics more than the movie. Let's just review the movie very quickly. It's a Boba Fett going around doing a bunch of Boba Fett stuff, but it does not wuss out the way it would have oh my gosh. If someone tried to make a Boba Fett movie, first of all, you can't have him killing anybody. How many people is He-Man going to kill this week? When you go watch Masters of the Universe, you want to talk about a movie that's going to wuss out. How many people do you think He-Man's going to kill? Because I think the body count for the Mandalorian is like 50 or 60. Like, probably. He is the man with no name, which is what he's supposed to be. And they didn't wuss out on that.
Reaching commando-like numbers.
Commando-like numbers. And meanwhile, he's got and what I said was at the time when we saw it was, it's so Star Wars to not go, oh, by the way, Chewbacca's a Wookiee and we've been together for a long time. You know, it's just like, here's Han Solo and a big fucking furry thing. Anyway, next scene. You know, so Mandalorian and Grogu, you go, if this is the very first Star Wars movie you're watching, you're like, and then he's got a little green guy. If you don't even know who Yoda is, that's awesome. That is Temple of Doom awesome. Like, what is even going on? And before you have a chance to go, what is even going on? They're just on to the whole adventure, and he's killing people. And now there's rebels, and they're airplanes, and you're just
I like that he's just, you know, that's where the last season ended up, if I'm not mistaken, is just, I'll do your errands. And so it's just him being sent on missions. Great.
Yeah. But, you know, he's the man with no name. Again, this is the ideal scenario that I never thought they would do, which is, yeah, he should be Clint Eastwood. He should be the man with no name. And, you know, I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold. You know, like he's got all the lines. And I love the line when the Jabba the Hutts take his helmet off and they're like, we've disgraced you. We've shown your face. And he goes, not unless I kill you. Unless I kill you, which is some cold ass stuff to say. I just really love how they nailed it. They just nailed it. And the other thing is, Star Wars at its heart, it isn't all this world building stuff that everyone's like, you know, it doesn't world build enough, which obviously the problem with paying attention to any criticism of Star Wars is it's everybody. Everybody's got an opinion. It's the most popular thing in the world for 30 or 40 years. It's the most popular thing that exists. So everybody's got an opinion. But so of course the people that were pissed that they're doing too much world building must have loved this, but I guess we're not hearing from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could pick and choose. There's obviously every opinion about this because the people that thought things were too wussy with one take on it obviously love this, right? I mean, the Zack Snyder fans love this, right? I mean, they got to. It's everything that they've complained about was taken care of in this movie. But anyway,
you're reviewing the critics again.
I'm reviewing the critics again. This is what drives me nuts. Anyway, I think I've
critics. I use a high bold type.
Well, that is the problem too, because you and I know real critics. We know William Bibiani, we know Ken Knapsack, we know Joe Scrimshaw. You know, we know real critics who really evaluate and really discuss these things. You know, Molly Damon and Alex Damon. We know real critics, and so to call just anybody on Twitter a critic is such bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah,
and that's what everyone's talking about. Everyone's talking about the bitchiest person, and they don't even know his name. Anyway, that's enough criticizing the critics. But I'll wrap it up by saying this. I mean, you get me going on this stuff. But at its heart, Star Wars is...
let's talk about Mandalorian and Grogu. That's me getting him going.
Yeah. Well, I think you said, like, let's just take a couple minutes. And I was like, oh, that's... he's going to eat that those words.
You want the fucking potatoes or not?
So anyway, but it doesn't wuss out. It's and it's again, Mos Eisley. There's a guy sits down with the fucking furry thing, and then before you know it, we're in a spaceship. Like, when are you going to stop and explain what's going on here? You know,
what the fuck is going on here?
He'll do that. He'll do that later with the Force, but of course he has to introduce what that is first. And let all the other stuff go for a second. Yeah.
And, you know, anyway, so it really succeeds in that. It's a real rip-roaring tale, and it just moves. And it's like, again, if this is your first Star Wars movie, which it's probably very few people's first Star Wars movie, but it lives up to the promise of the initial Star Wars movies in that, like, nope, we're moving on. We do not have time to explain to you what a Jabba the Hutt is. But anyway, they're gangsters, and, you know, and here's this guy that I love the shootout at the one bar where and he's such a badass, like Boba Fett. The promise of Boba Fett, the action figure that was never showed up in the movies, is all over this movie. It's like, I mean, I really feel like the Mandalorian TV show obviously fulfills that too, but just discussing it as a movie, like a Star Wars movie, I was like, Jon Favreau played with those toys and was like, you know what would be so cool? And then it never happened in the movies. And someday I will make good on this, you know, but he's got a little...
I can't follow a 10-minute rant with a few criticisms I have, so we'll just let it go.
Okay, go ahead.
We did see Scrimshaw on opening night, which tracks.
We did! Yes! Theater. That was so fun. And that was so fun, too, as a kid who saw Star Wars in a vacuum. Like, we now have these friends who are all experts and you know, and also there was J.C. Reifenberg, who runs the Scum and Villainy Cantina, was there on opening night. So I'm just like, wow, here's people that we know that are in the Star Wars sphere, and Star Wars is this thing that's alive, and these people are all going to go do shows, and and J.C. Reifenberg's going to go do a party for them and name a drink after the Mandalorian at the Scum and Villainy Cantina on my street. And Joe Scrimshaw, I went and listened the next day to him and Ken Knapsack on the Force Center podcast, review it. And, these are my guys. I don't want to listen to anybody review it, but those guys. So it was really cool. It felt very much like a life lived, that I'm like, oh, and we have all these friends that are legitimate experts, legitimate critics. And we're running into them at the Mann's Chinese Theater, where the famous photo of Star Wars 1977 that I saw that photo when I was 7-8 years old. My first Star Wars book was about like the phenomenon in magazines,
Yeah,
and there we are at the same place, standing in a line.
What were tickets? Like 24?
26?
Were they more than that? Were they 20? Yeah, mid
26, I think, for IMAX. Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing better than seeing a movie in a movie palace.
How much is a theme park?
Yeah.
How much is a theme park?
The Art Deco, the event of it all. And
they don't cheap out on the experience. Yeah, right. I mean,
the things
you get $26 worth of movie.
Yeah, the lighting they put on the screen beforehand that shows the logo or whatever it is, and the hype is real, and the music they play, and the people, of course, opening night for Marvel or Avatar or Indiana Jones or Star Wars, like I've been doing at the Chinese, is the right people to see it with as well. So, and
everybody there, especially on opening night at the Movie Palace, is there to love that movie. And that's a rare thing. Now, I don't know what it's like seeing this at an AMC in Pittsburgh or whatever, where people are just maybe a little more making sounds that sound like a jerk-off motion, like, oh, this is dumb, But that was not, I mean, they put up the photo of Rada the Hutt, which is from Clone Wars, which I don't even think you've seen, but then the entire audience cracks up because that's how he looked in Clone Wars, and he looks like a weird little spud. A
couple announcements along the lines of what you were talking about. The Scum and Villainy Cantina will be expanding, and one will open in Burbank, where I live. So we'll each have our own Scum and Villainy Cantina.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So that's pretty exciting.
Did I tell you I went to the fundraiser for that, to start that? And Kevin Smith was there. Kevin Smith, who I just ran into again in my neighborhood last night. We were clearly neighbors. Anyway, I'm like, oh, there's Kevin Smith walking his dogs.
He used to live in the hills. I think he...
Well, yeah, I mean, I say neighbors loosely. He's just up the hill here. But...
Yeah, he either bought or sold a house from Ben Affleck years ago. I don't know if that's still the case.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one that's just up the hill. It's like, probably would be a 15-minute walk if I walked there. But yeah, I saw him in the... But anyway, he did a fundraiser for Scum and Villainy, and I saw it said, like, on Instagram, Kevin Smith is live. And so I'm like, oh, let's see what he's doing. They expect him to be at his desk going, oh, I just, updating. And I'm like, oh, he's at Scum and Villainy, and it's live. And so I just went down there, and I just watched Kevin Smith and J.C. Reifenberg fundraise for like an hour and a half.
Whenever they do for the opening of the new one, I will probably try my best to be there. I can imagine it would be quite an event. It's going to be bigger, I think, right?
Yes. It's a whole different concept.
The place they've picked is bigger. I know that.
Well, this is a whole different concept. This is a basically it's a science fiction cantina. I think this looks like a ship that you go on. It's probably a little more akin to having a drink on the Starship Enterprise. I don't know how much Star Wars stuff's going to be in it. I think his idea is to get a little away from the cantina vibe and to make it like a sci-fi experience or something.
Irrational Cantina, that's what they'll call it.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Star Trek, just thinking.
No, it's got some other name. Let's see. Scum and Villainy. If I can't type. Burbank. What is it called?
Valjean, at last we see each other plain. Monsieur le Maire, you wear a different chair.
Before you say another word, Javert, before you chain me up like a slave again, listen to me, there is something I must do. This woman leaves behind a suffering child. There is none but me who can intercede. In mercy's name, 3 days are all I need. Then I'll return. I pledge my word, and then I'll return.
You must think me mad. I've hunted you across the years. Men like you can never change a man such as you.
Believe
Men
me,
like you can
what
never
you will.
change.
There is a
Men like
duty
you
that I'm
can
sworn
never
to
change.
do.
Great straight man, Harrison Ford there in that bit.
It is called Rendezvous, and
Oh.
I'm wrong. I think it does have a cantina. I see the concept drawing of it. Never mind, but it's called Rendezvous. So anyway,
Yeah,
maybe it just has
I'd
a
love
different
for
name.
that.
I thought it was going to have I thought he was going to have a whole different design to it. But.
I don't have dates on that, but you know, it's
But his location is
the
great.
location, yeah, is awesome.
It's right there by Barney's Beanery where we used to shoot the Schmodown. Yeah.
No, we
And
didn't.
boy,
We
if
hung
we
out
were
there.
still shooting the Schmodown, we would not be going to Barney's if there was a Scum and Villainy Cantina
Oh, right.
there.
Yeah. Another quick announcement: there is an Indiana Jones triple feature happening at the $1 Million Theater downtown on Father's Day. So if you're in LA and want to see a lot of indie, Raiders, Doom, Crusade, back to back to back, Father's Day. And if you don't know the $1 Million Theater, it was in Blade Runner, so Harrison Ford all over the place. It's right across from the Bradbury.
Wow.
And next door to the Grand Central Market downtown. So you can make a whole night of it. Definitely want to go to Grand Central Market if you've never have been. But it was also featured in 500 Days of Summer, one of my favorite bits, part vampire, part giant, vagiant.
Never seen that movie, but now I might.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Have a giant.
Yeah, we saw Raiders recently, but I mean, wouldn't kill us to go see it again, I suppose.
No, not in a triple feature. That might be.
And I've not been to this theater. You know,
No, I've never been there.
Telling somebody yesterday about where were we? Where a theater had been brought back. Oh, I was just on one of my tours. And I was talking about the Vista and the New Beverly.
Yeah.
And how the theaters downtown, they don't get revived, uniformly. One's still an Apple store, another is a jewelry shop, one is a church or whatever, and all sucks.
Yeah.
But and none of them have come back as a regular movie house. But they're showing movies at the Los Angeles. They're showing them at the Orpheum. They're showing them at whatever the new Ace Hotel.
That's so.
And the $1 Million Theater obviously is now showing them. I went to see Under the Cherry Moon at the Regent, and I'd never been there before. So they're still doing movie screenings downtown, but intermittently, and I'm glad to see it. So, I mean, they had the whole Outfest at the Orpheum a couple of years ago, and that was a whole week of movies. But a lot of those places are also used for concerts. So any of the ones that are still around, the Belasco, they're operating, and anytime they see, Joe Jackson is at the Orpheum. Oh. That's true.
Be sure to look sharp.
Yeah. All right. More stuff. What
By
else?
the way, put up that triple feature Indiana Jones thing again. I just have to point one thing out. And anytime, look on the right is what I call the hungover photo shoot. look at Harrison. And anything shot in this Alexandretta entrance here. There's they did a whole photo shoot for promotions that day, and he is just either the most tired. Either they got him as soon as he off the plane, or he's hungover. But he is just it's a unique Harrison Ford look. Any of these photo shoot day, he just was not up for it. I mean, he looks so tired or hungover there, and all the photos do. All the photos do.
I don't love his look of having a tie the whole movie, so I'm glad he loses it at the end here. Or is this just a still shot for promotion, and in that he wears the tie right up to the end of that movie? I can't remember. But
does he have a tie on at the end of it?
It always seems so bound up. I was like, lose the tie, Indy. We're kicking ass here. I mean, look, he lost his sleeves in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. I appreciate that they found yet another look for Indiana Jones that did not betray,
True,
his indiness.
And his professorness, and maybe it was only appropriate that he meets his dad and he's wearing a tie. I guess. Yeah. So not.
But yeah, I thought. So here, yeah, look at this. Oh no, wait a second. It was the other.
Oh, you got a.
I did have a thing here. Yeah.
Was that the ad for the?
There's the. No, this is just Lucasfilm, but I just look at his so tired. Anyway.
Not so tired, but I don't know. The Han Solo now, Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, has reverted to the OG trilogy. They were continuing your Star Wars adventure in a place called Batuu. It still might be called Batuu, but it was all sequel characters.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was I mean, obviously when you go there, what's a brand new land though, but I didn't realize that was like, and only sequel trilogy people will be here. I mean, that's not very Star Wars. Like, you know, if you go to Tatooine, depending upon when you go there, you could run into Amidala or you could run into the Mandalorian, right? I mean, everybody goes to Tatooine.
But you're going to Batu.
They should have just
made it all
called it
up.
Tatooine.
But the problem is they made it all up for your own adventure. But then I read a good article that agreed with me, and that then the park failed on the Imagineers' idea to create your own adventure. And so they never really did. It was kind of just a patchwork of whatever. Any story you could get involved in where like you meet someone and they want to go on a mission with you to go get a thing or gone. You know, it's just like meet and greet. Hi, Lola. Yeah. So they reverted everything back to the old Star Wars.
Wait. So originally it was going to be an experiential thing where on the streets you would get in adventures.
You could, yeah. Like there was one bit the guy writing the article talks about where Rey is hiding somewhere and a kid sees her, brings the kid over. Next thing you know, there's a couple kids, and next thing you know, some stormtroopers go by. She and the kids all go out and do this, and the stormtroopers stop, and he says, "You're not looking for any rebels, or we're not looking for any rebels. We're to move along. We did it!" You know, high fives all around, whatever. And so those type of things were missing as the park went on and on. And so the idea of the park being sequel trilogy, create your own adventure, was kind of, again, failed by the continuing operations of the park to do that regularly. So they instead, now they've gone OG, and now Han Solo's there, or is what the internet's calling him, Han Brolo.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess. You know, he's dressed right.
I mean, he's definitely dressed right. I mean, that's a good Han Solo costume. Let's just review the costume real quick here. That's a good Han Solo costume. He just doesn't look like, but I mean, now, look at the
issue, of course.
Oh, he doesn't look like Harrison Ford. They couldn't find someone who looks like Harrison Ford. I mean, what standard are we going for here?
It's not even that. It's different. Hey, when you see Luke, it's Jedi Luke, full black, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't match with like New Hope, Han Solo, you know, so they're different movies. So, you know, people are finding problems as they
Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible looking Chewbacca also. But I mean, you know, it's close enough. I mean, that looks like that's a Christmas special Chewbacca, right?
Halloween store Chewie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a holiday special Chewie right there. But
well, look,
what a fun gig for that guy to run around and be Han Solo, though. I wonder if he sounds like Han Solo.
I don't know. Like all the introduction videos online, there's no audio for Leia, Luke, or Han. It's just music, and they're walking along, and then they show the Falcon.
I mean, does the Darth Vader sound like James Earl Jones? I don't know. Oh, did we lose you, Paul? Or did you lose me? Am I frozen? I believe we lost Paul. I think I'm the one that's still broadcasting here. I don't know what that means for Paul, but I'll just say this.
What the fuck is going on here?
No, I think Paul. Oh, power just went out in his house. He texted me. Okay. Well, let's move on from Han Brolo, and I did prepare a couple things here as well. While Paul comes back on, let's go to one of the many things. This is so great that Paul has. Oh, I got to take this off the screen, and he's the one that put it up. Where is it?
Well, let's draw.
Okay, it's not there. Oh, here it is. Okay. Hello, it is I, Adam Witt, your esteemed host. I'm not just esteemed, I'm a pissed. But let's go to, in the many things that has happened since the last time that we did a show. Paul texts me, talk about Star Wars. In the many things that happened since we last met, Harrison Ford gave the commencement speech at Arizona State University, where my cousin's kid is going currently. So that's a cool university, and where I taught improv once upon a time. And I know many improvisers who performed with, and I got to tell you, you know, one of the fun things that you can do in your life is join an improv troupe. And the more fun thing is to name an improv troupe. And Arizona State had the best names for the improv troupe. I'm struggling to remember one of them, but their sketch troupe was The Farce Side. Now that is a great name for an improv troupe. Okay, but let's go to the tape. Now, how do I share? The screen is now changed. Okay, here we go. Share screen, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Well, I don't think we can watch the whole thing.
Thank you, President Crow.
But how cool is this? I mean, who was your commencement speaker?
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Crow.
I don't remember. I think mine was a guy from the university.
Introduction. And for the privilege to address all of you here today.
Now,
you're here because you have accomplished something we need to extend is a part of storytelling to work. I didn't want to be a poster boy for the cause. I wanted to be part of the work, so I was invited to join the board some 35 years ago. And that's why I stand here now before you to represent for nature.
Now, let me just say, before he gets going here, before he really starts cooking, you got Harrison Ford here doing your commencement speech, and he is so Harrison Ford. This is so good. I mean, when this guy commands you, you sit up and listen.
The source of life itself. Humanity is a part of nature, not above it. We have an essential mandate to protect 30% of the world's land and sea by 2030, to prevent the mass extinction, slow the warming of our planet. Still, despite new science, new policies, we are still losing nature to profiteering, corruption, conflict, including land that is already protected on paper. These efforts matter, but they're not enough. We need cultural change.
This is like an Independence Day speech. Like, I'm ready to go fight the aliens.
We need to extend social justice.
Justice!
We need to respect and elevate the indigenous people that are being marginalized and in many cases killed in cold blood.
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.
These communities have long understood that the trees, the mountain, water, soil are not commodities. They are relatives to be cherished for following generations to embrace and protect.
What the fuck is going on here?
We can all play a role by embracing that wisdom in our day-to-day lives. By loving the planet.
Ooh, controversial, loving the planet.
By honoring nature's authority.
Ooh, clean water, how controversial.
Generosity.
What a liberal.
The bounty she affords us. The justice of her example.
Clean air,
because
what an asshole.
The world you're stepping into, the world my generation left you, is a real mess.
Nice.
Saving nature isn't our only job. There are opportunities to be embraced in society and business, in the kind of lives we live. So find a place for yourself. Whatever talent or ambition you have, find some way to put it to work. Build something that didn't exist yesterday. Stand up for someone who can't stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Bring people together who weren't talking before. That's leadership. That's what moves the needle. Your generation has far more power than you may realize. And if you harness that power, if you find your leadership, your issues, your voice, the world will not be able to ignore you. You will have to be accommodated. Believe me, I know that's true.
What?
Don't wait. When opportunity presents, recognize it. This is your time. Own it. Enjoy every second of it. Because what could be worse than getting to the end of your life and realizing that you haven't fully lived it? Congratulations. Go change the world.
Wow. Go change the world.
Yeah. And to those who deny science, it's your turn to be afraid.
Right, exactly. And wherever there's a guy beating up another guy, I'll be there. Like it started going into the speech from Grapes of Wrath, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's just so cool. I mean, he really is like, and today we celebrate our Independence Day. Let's go get them.
Yeah. Climate change, not pollution, not flood or fire. So we have people in charge who have important shit who don't believe in science.
You want the fucking potatoes or not?
Yeah, agriculture. So anyway, sorry to hear about your electricity, Paul, but I added 2 viewers to the show. Thank you.
All I had to do was leave.
Thank you for sticking with us, all of our viewers, by the way, as we cover the last 2 months in Harrison Ford's career. It's just, crazy. So there's another thing, commencement speech. What else you got, Paul?
Well, he was given a SAG after Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, look at him.
And they
I love him so, Paul. I know we do a show about Harrison Ford, but I have to say, every time we do a show about Harrison Ford and you put up a legendary photo after a legendary speech and a legendary, I know it's a big dub, but I love him so much. I love him so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.
Let's see here. Oh boy. Well, they're not telling me what. I'm trying to share the screen and it just says Instagram. Here it is. All right, let me try this.
Go straight to Falcon's Maze.
Okay. Can you see it? No.
You got to take that photo off.
Let me get the picture. I'm not a cat. Oh, sorry. All right. Here we go. Eventually.
The culture has changed and the
business has changed remarkably. And we don't have the support of movie theaters as much as we used to have. And that is a damn shame.
Yeah.
That community experience produces positive effects, I think, in the culture. We've been disaggregated into serviceable economic units. But there's not the general feeling of community that we used to have when movies were more. They had captured the zeitgeist of the culture, and they were feeding that zeitgeist.
They were needed.
Yeah, and they were telling a story that was needed, and that story was a positive contribution to the culture.
It's still possible. You're doing it. You're breaking through to reaching other people. Maybe they're watching their phones to see it, or they're something. I mean, I know so many families where.
But when you're home, you're home.
Yeah.
You're not in a dark room with people that you don't know, who you begin to know because you experience a common humanity. That's a very powerful effect.
I love him.
So that's Sean Astin. If you didn't know, he's the
he's
now
president
the president
of SAG.
Yeah, and people may not know, but and that's a great interview they had right by. That's funny. Have we all been
that was my first takeaway. Zeitgeist. And the guy's worked in Germany. He's shot so many movies in Germany. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, funny.
Zeitgeist.
But I wanted to point that out because there you go. He says, "Go out. We need to change the culture. Maybe movies is a way to do it." Back to back there. So
bring us together.
Yeah.
Bring us together.
And that was a great interview. You can go watch the whole thing on YouTube. He did very thoughtful. I think he enjoyed, you know, as much as he goes online and does goofy stuff like we were talking about at podcasts and
and then this is the opposite end of that is he, you know, and the Arizona speech, you know.
Yeah, and here's the goofy side, right?
He knows the assignment, you know.
Where did I put this up? Oh, yeah.
We need to start because Woody is like a half hour late, I think.
Okay.
But
we really don't need him.
You don't, and you know what's funny is when he does
and
get
you know
here,
what? He doesn't fucking need us either.
I know. He's the
And
most
that's
whimsical.
the desperate reality of it.
It is. He goes where he wants, when he wants, and answers to nobody else.
Well, there is someone else. who
Laura
answers,
Louie.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The free spirits, by the way, somebody else is paying the price because she carries his phone. You can't get Woody on a phone because he
No,
does.
of course, because he's eccentric
and very whimsical.
without me. Well, we had to.
So
we had to. There was a little business we had to get out of the way.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, Teddy.
Yeah.
How are you, my friend?
I missed you.
Oh.
So
they're
anyway,
good friends,
we were
right?
talking about
Yeah.
Woody and his whimsical go where he wants, when he wants.
Yeah. Because he was late. You're late.
I'm not late. It's 1 o'clock, right?
So I am of the
He is
opinion,
the dude, right?
I'm of
Woody
the
is
opinion.
the dude.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm of the opinion Woody and Harrison are high as hell that whole interview.
Oh, yeah. They burned one before the whole thing.
Yeah,
and he
not
came
together,
in.
but they don't think they need each other to do that.
I'm too high for this shit.
We've lost our stream to Facebook. What's going
Yeah,
on?
I guess that would be
What the fuck is going on here?
Long ASU speech, maybe we got the boot. Maybe.
Oh. So
I
maybe an
did
issue
that.
on Facebook, Stan. It doesn't actually say, but you might be right. But that's a weird thing to give us a copyright strike. Literally, a state college, literally a publicly funded speech. I don't know. Not exactly playing an extended clip from Shrinking. Anyway,
Stupid fucking internet.
So anyway, it gets fun and weird on these podcasts lately, and they're all worth.
Yeah, I gotta listen
But
to
I
that
think
one.
that Sean Astin one, and then he did an interview with Scott Feinberg, I believe, of The Hollywood Reporter, and both those.
that
interviews-
one's so good.
Yeah,
You
they
sent
go-
me that one.
Yeah, they both go deep, and I think he really enjoys going deep when he wants to. You know, he even did a little in his acceptance speech at the SAG Awards. We'll play just a second.
I'm
of that.
here to receive a prize for being alive. That said, it is a little weird to be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the half point of my career. Thank you to SAG-AFTRA for honoring me with this prize. This is very encouraging.
That's a great line.
That's amazing.
Maybe he'll go out there and make something of himself.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah, he was very taken emotionally at that. I mean, he knows the assignment and he does, you know, that's how he really felt at that moment. And, you know, he goes on Conan O'Brien and that's how he feels at that moment. I mean, he's being honest, truthful, you know.
Yeah. Which he always is, even if his characters aren't, you know, Abe Lincoln or anything that it requires, you know, he's honest and truthful in The Fugitive, you know?
Yeah.
He
didn't kill his wife. I didn't kill my wife.
Find this man. Okay, so Adam, this is the kind of fan that you wish you talked to more often in Star Wars. A guy will take any Lego set and turn it into the Millennium Falcon.
That's so brilliant. This is why the internet is still undefeated. That's amazing.
So that's a Simba, but he can make it a Millennium Falcon. Do the same with the Falcon.
Oh,
don't even challenge, or do it with a flamingo, I should say. Don't even challenge.
Yeah,
he'll
that's wonderful. What a wonderful thing to do. Thank you for finding this and sharing this. This is how I would rather experience the internet. Rather than just go and scrolling, like, just thank you, Paul, for delivering what the internet did this. That's really funny. That's very cute.
It is. We only got a few more minutes, but I do want to point out one more thing that's Ford adjacent. I want to make sure I word this correctly. John Williams was honored with a Performing Arts Center at North Hollywood High School. So not only did they name the Hollywood Bowl stage in the big presentation you gave us before, but he showed up at the North Hollywood High to help christen what will be the John Williams Performing Arts Center. He said he's, a performative part of his life. Is that the word? Anyway, a meaningful part of his life was there, starting out in music.
Is that where he graduated high school?
One of his high school bands there. Yep.
Wow.
And
my gosh.
They've named the Performing Arts Center after him.
Wait, is that him in Play for Optimus Dry Night Clubbers?
I guess.
Wait, what am I looking at here?
He's on the piano, I believe, just in a high school band.
Okay.
All that photo said was here he is in a high school band.
I love Play for Optimus Dry Night Clubbers.
I don't know what that means.
That's pretty great. He used to play for the Optimus Dry Night Clubbers.
Second row up from the bottom in the middle. There he is in this high school.
Oh, yeah. I know that look because I did his birthday montage, and I've seen this look many times in my edit bay. So I'm very lucky.
So one of the billion accolades he's well deserving of.
The best.
Not to mention Spielberg's EGOT happened while we were away too, because
thank you for remembering all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
He won the Emmy for Band of Brothers. He won a Tony for producing A Strange Loop, which a lot of people don't know, that won Best Musical. And of course, Academy Awards. He's won 3, and the one that they hilariously gave him for his career, and then he won 3 awards after that. But then he just picked up his first Grammy for producing music by John Williams, which was my favorite movie of 24.
Wow.
And
your favorite documentary?
Yeah, the Grammys give out music doc Grammys, and he won that. So
okay. I thought for some reason that was awarded for its soundtrack or something like that, or some sort of producing. Okay, yeah. I see. That's true.
So again, the legend,
Grammy, Oscar,
Tony. Not just Ford, Williams, Spielberg, the whole game. This is the circle of geniuses, and they just keep ascending. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really something.
We didn't even really have time for this, but
geez, well, we can get to that next. That's the most recent news, actually.
At 83,
of all the things.
Debut on Sesame Street.
Oh, how great is that? That should be our backdrop. Can we just make that our backdrop?
I could easily put that there.
Yeah, I think that's our backdrop for the
next
show.
I got a whole Ben Ford story. Anyway, there's a lot to go.
Well, but we covered the big things was the award acceptance, the ASU acceptance, there was so much stuff going on that we're just like, we have got to do a show, even though we're not going to be able to do one next week, but just to cover what Harrison Ford has been up to the guy just does not stop. He's just the greatest.
If we get back in 2 weeks, so we can talk about this too. So Spielberg always Ford adjacent, and I can't wait to see that movie. So pretty excited.
Yep, very excited about that.
All right, that's it. Let's call it a show, but we'll be back maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe we can stay regular. Maybe you got plane ride and you can work on some jokes for 6 days, 7 nights, or whatever.
Yeah, we can record 6 days, 7 nights, hop back on that train. So we have to keep going. We have to finish Ford's oeuvre. That might have been Dial of Destiny might have been his last movie.
Well, I read this.
I'm sorry, Captain America,
Brave New World. Yeah, he said, if I go out on Shrinking, I'm wholly satisfied, because he loves that show and all the people on it so much. If he says calls it a career. Oh, I forgot to bring this up too. Mr. Met of the New York Mets.
The New York Mets, not personally, but
they made him an Indiana Jones figure at one point. A buddy of mine just sent it to me out of nowhere. So thank you for this, Chris. Thank you, Susan, for the Shrinking Paley Fest tickets.
Oh, that's so fun.
A couple other
people. And we'll wrap this up by saying when you said you got the Paley Fest and you said it's a shrinking panel, Harrison Ford's not supposed to show up. He's not scheduled to show up. And I was like, God would not do that to you. He is absolutely going to pull a surprise appearance. There is no way you're in the audience for shrinking and Harrison Ford doesn't pull a surprise appearance. Yeah. And he did.
He announced well in advance, but the big surprise was Michael J. Fox. What a great
big surprise. Yeah. It's amazing.
All right. That's all. See you hopefully in a couple of weeks.
See you then.
One, two.
Until what?
Until then, the Harrison Ford is closed.
1, 2, 3.
Happy Star Wars Day from the Obama Presidential Center.
I have a very good feeling about this.
Mark, I am glad you are here. I want to tell you about someone.
Okay.
A young person born into ordinary circumstances, but restless, unsatisfied. A kid with big dreams, a bit of a rebel.
I like where this is going.
They join a scrappy group of underdogs and set out to change things.
By blowing up a giant space laser?
Mark, this is not about you. As wonderful as you are, this is about them. This isn't a monument to my legacy. It's a gateway to yours. The Obama Presidential Center is much more than a museum. It is an entire campus built to empower you. A place to come together, get inspired, and become a force for change. See what I did there?
Strong the dad jokes are.
Oh. That's perfect.
Fuck yeah, I want some pancakes.